Now, there are many ways of glimpsing reality, glimpsing the true nature of things. However, we can just try to return to a glimpse again and again to prove that that's so, or we can, in our own experience, every moment of the day, have the wide open reality that is beyond all glimpses. So, I grew up in the 60s and 70s, and when a lot of drugs came into fashion, a lot of hallucinogenics. So I've seen it all. I've seen it from the very beginning, and I've seen the results. I've seen it from the very beginning, and I've seen the results. And with hallucinogenics, another reality, so to speak, is glimpsed, a reality that's beyond all realities. However, it means nothing unless we have it in our own experience 24/7. It means absolutely nothing. And so it can become just another indulgence, just another prop for escape. Any point of view that is taken to have an independent nature, as though it can provide something, if it's returned to again and again for providing that, rather than just providing an opening to what is real one time or a couple times, then it becomes very limiting. It becomes a prison in its own right. What's important is in our own experience to experience that reality on an ongoing basis. And for that, we are completely at choice. We're completely at choice. And if you want to know who the chooser is and what's chosen, who cares? Just that mental, masturbation is, if that's how you want to spend your life, please don't. Anything that can be thought of or described, it's just a point of view within all-encompassing, free-flowing awareness. All mental activities are always and forever empty and timelessly free. They're nothing but stainless, flawless space. So to try to go into one of them and fool around with it just is to get lost in another world. Just to get lost in another world of existence. Life is a lot better than that. Life is completely easeful. Every moment is entirely liberating. Every single moment has never been made into anything. What could be more exciting than that? There's nothing more exciting than that. To hold to every moment desperately as though it is something is to be lost in a very painful existence, and to prove over and over again that it all really means something in its own right is also very painful. In fact, it's excruciating, and it's extremely tiring. So, some of these points of view that we have, that we've believed in, they're very gripping. And I'm not saying, give them all up or anything like that. No one is to give up anything. Everything's included. Just relax when they appear, and more and more life is easeful and effortless. Instead of attaching to all the points of view to make a life, there's just wide open space in which a life beautifully appears. And there's the wisdom of knowing what to do with that life and how it can be of benefit to others. And this is all naturally, spontaneously occurring. It's not a religious ideal or a spiritual ideal or anything that's cultivated or developed. It's beyond all ideals, yet includes all ideals. And in that, there is the clear seeing of solutions that can't be conjured up from all this thinking. whether this applies to ourselves or to anyone else. Now, I know I grew up thinking, oh gosh, some thoughts are good, some thoughts are bad, but I could never really understand that concept. And some emotions are good and some emotions are bad, but yet, many people play these things out. So we spend our lives like robots who are sorting thoughts and emotions. Here are the good ones, here are the bad ones. Got to get more good ones, got to get less bad ones. But that's a totally robotic existence. When we relax into the nature and essence of all those appearances, we find that to label things as good or bad and to make a life built on that is just very sad. It's really sad. When all they are, whether they're called positive or negative, they're empty space, forever empty space. And in that is not nihilism. In that is the heartbeat of love and wisdom and tremendous energy. No matter what great ideas you have had in life, and no matter what great things you've accomplished, or if you've accomplished nothing, the resolution of it all is in the basic space of awareness, the basic space of phenomena. So if you feel moved to accomplish great things, anything that you've been accomplishing from point of view, looking at everything in terms of points of view, just many orders of magnitude greater will be your accomplishments in relaxing as awareness and getting to know awareness as the basis. So it isn't something I'm suggesting that's based on any kind of philosophy, but more on the nature of what we really are as human beings and what we can experience in our own awareness. We've reached the end of all philosophies, actually. We've reached the end of all philosophies. All these nitpicking philosophies that have come out of awareness attempting to hold to points of view. In awareness alone, there is that which has never held to any conceptual framework, never held to any philosophy. And so in that, we reach our super completeness as human beings. It's just about being human. It doesn't need to hold to any kind of cultural tradition or tradition of any country or race or anything. Awareness has never been dependent on any of these things. So see, when we get to know ourselves in this way, we get to know the truly exalted nature of being human. And it's an adventure within ourselves, yet it includes everything. It has no inner or outer. And how does this adventure take place? It takes place with our own circumstantial points of view, the circumstantial points of view of our own life. We don't have to exchange any of our points of view. We don't have to cash them in. We don't have to get rid of them. In just relaxing, we come to see that all of our own appearances, no matter what they are, lack an independent nature. They lack an independent existence. The personal identity lacks an independent existence, and all other points of view also lack an independent existence. And how does that philosophy come alive in our own experience? In whatever appears within us. If we keep saying, oh, okay, all these other points of view, I can see that they don't have an independent nature and I'm able to relax. But when this point of view comes up, I refuse to relax. I'm just going to get into it in any way that I need to in order to find relief. So that can be very tempting, especially with negative states. They feel so powerful. They feel like an enemy or a foe. We've trained ourselves to believe this, that they are an enemy or foe. So when they come up, we seek relief in any way just because the pain is so great. But the greatest reliever to that pain is to simply rest in awareness and know that they do not have an independent nature. The relief cannot come from seeking an antidote. So say a powerful force of negativity comes up, impending doom or panic or whatever it is, and we reach for the bottle, whether it's a bottle of pills or a bottle of booze or a joint or whatever it is, then we've adopted an antidote. We've said, yep, this is real and I can conquer it by these means with this antidote. But when we begin to rest as awareness, we see that awareness really does have mastery over all points of view. Awareness really has mastery over all phenomena. This may come all at once to us, or it may not. It may come gradually. Whether it comes all at once or gradually matters not. And even if we're resting as awareness, and one time we're able to rest as awareness when this big negative surge comes up, and the next time we adopt an antidote, it matters not. Just get back up and rest as awareness. So, these negative states can seem extremely powerful, and it may not happen all at once that we're able to rest as that. Just as when I described that all the sensations are forever blended with awareness, there would never be any sensation without awareness. So too, these negative urges are forever blended with awareness. They don't have any other essence or nature. They don't have a nature that can overpower anyone, and there's no one to overpower. There's only this appearance of the extremely negative state that's forever blended with forever empty awareness. So you see, when we relax as that, then we achieve complete mastery over all phenomena, complete mastery over all points of view. This may come quickly and it may come slowly. It matters not. If we fall down and we can't rest as awareness, so what? Maybe next time we'll be able to. Just be very gentle with yourself. This isn't an awareness contest or some kind of Olympics of awareness where we're putting together all the best athletes. It's not like that at all. It's right here. I can attest to this. And, no matter what the points of view are of your life, and believe me, I've had some hideous ones. I'd be willing to share stories with anyone. I bet you anything that my hideous points of view are worse than your hideous points of view. So here, there was resting as awareness that achieved mastery over all that. You see all these things that seemed so real and compelling and as reasons for me to feel shame, humiliation, guilt, fear, and or a combination of all those things to avoid the world and avoid relationships. That's a course I could have taken. I could have easily taken that course. And all of us have a choice to take that course, but I chose not to take that course. And I'm a human being just like anyone else. I'm a human being who chose not to take that course. I'd had enough, and 25 years ago, I had enough. I was sick and tired of the way that it all played out, and it wasn't leading anywhere. And so I chose relief. And quickly, I realized there was no one at the control panel, only awareness. There's only awareness and all of its majestic appearances, the magnificent display of whatever it is. So, with anything that's being faced by anyone in this room, know that it's possible to rest as awareness. It doesn't matter what it is. It really does not matter what it is. Don't ever settle for any idea about anything, no matter how long you live. Do not settle for any idea about anything, because to hold to any idea of anything is that's the way it's going to be from now on. It's just so limiting.